Hi, everybody. Welcome back. This is this is hard being professional with people that you're friends with.
Mhm.
This is the lovely Erin Doyle. She has been a teacher in our grade 7-8 class. Well, I guess it started grade 7 only,
Grade six, seven.
but she has not been with us for the last year because she decided that growing her own family was more important than teaching. So Erin has been on maternity leave for the last year, and we have missed her so much. But because we have other teachers who have decided to grow their own families, Erin's actually coming back to take over for Caitlin, who is in our grade 5-6 class, and finish out the year in Caitlin's classroom. And then next year, we'll be going back to her 7-8 kiddos.
Mhm.
So thank you for having a beautiful family. And it's time to come back now.
It is time to come back. I'm ready to come back to my OBA family.
So Erin, let's talk about you are actually our first teacher that we're interviewing
Oh,
here. All the rest of our interviews have been with our RBTs. And so, what is your background in the special inclusive education field?
I'm from the East Coast, so I did all of my schooling back in Nova Scotia. So I started in my undergrad. I was doing volunteer work tutoring for the Learning Disability Association of Nova Scotia. Uh, in their Links program, where I would tutor kids with special needs or just kids that were falling behind in the public school system with literacy. And that's really where I got my first glimpse of what kind of teacher I would want to be. I really knew that was when I wanted to work with kids with special needs or kids that just needed extra support. Just having that, seeing them grasp something for the first time or something that they've been struggling with, and then they have that aha light bulb moment was really pretty special. And it's a great feeling, not only for me, but for them, to see their confidence grow. So I did that throughout my undergrad, and then I did my education degree at Acadia University in Wolfville, Nova Scotia. Their program focused a lot on inclusive education, so we had a lot of courses on how to teach everybody and teach everybody to their abilities. So it was always differentiating our lessons and how can we include people with special needs into a regular mainstream classroom. Through that and my practicums, like my student teaching, that really continued that desire to be in the special education field. From there, when I graduated, I was pretty fortunate to do a lot of supply work for the Halifax School Board. And one of the schools that I taught at regularly, pretty much every day, the Learning Center teacher kind of took me under her wing and really showed me what it meant to be a Learning Center teacher and showed me these kids are so capable. When you're teaching and you're teaching a grade 9 class and you're realizing that there's kids in here that can't read, how did you get to grade 9 without being able to read? That's a lot of cracks that you're falling through. I was fortunate enough to get a lot of work back home, and then we made the move to Kitchener about 7 years ago. And I taught here at another private school in their special education classroom, and just working with those kids was incredible, and I loved it. And they came so far in such a short period of time. And then I had my first child. And then I went to Oakbridge and never looked back.
How did you find out about Oakbridge? What was the process that sort of led you to
To
us?
Oakbridge? Well, funny story. I was on my maternity leave with Kaylin, and she was about 4 months old, and I was kind of thinking towards the future of what do I want to do? Where do I want to go after my maternity leave is over? Thinking about the future, and my husband actually was reading an article on the Record, and he was like, hey, there's this new private school opening up, Oakbridge Academy, and he was like, the school was made for you. This is your dream job. You need to email this Kathy Shaw lady. And like tell her how interested you are. He kept after me for a long time. He was like, you need to email them. You need to email them. I kept like researching and it was kept coming up more and more. So I finally did email Kathy, and I was actually the first person that ever emailed her about like employment or working at Oakbridge. And so when they started hiring, they called me for an interview and found out around Easter of 2018 that all because my husband read an article on the Record.
I did not know that story.
Yeah.
That's amazing. You touched a little bit on the differences and the struggles between the public school system
Mm-hmm.
and how that is different, or you wanted to change that. How do you see that that is different here at Oakbridge?
Oakbridge is incredible. It's a teacher's dream to walk into a classroom and have 10 kids. And even though those 10 kids could be at 10 different levels, or you could have 5 different math levels in a class, you have so much support that it's doable. It's not overwhelming. It's not, how am I going to do this? You just can walk in and you know that you have everybody's on the same page and they all want the same goal for those kids. Where, not that like teachers in the public school don't want that to happen, but when you have 30 kids in a class and you're one person, and how do you spread your time so that everybody's getting the attention and the education that they deserve and need? It's impossible. So at Oakbridge, it's possible to do that. It's possible to be like, hey, go work with so-and-so on this while I work with these kids on this, or he really needs help in this particular area, so I'm gonna pull him and we're gonna do one-on-one to like bring him up to where he needs to be. Not even within the team, but the whole school, you have this incredible support system that you can walk into any classroom, go to any staff member, and they're gonna help you because they want everybody to succeed. Kathy is fantastic as a director, principal. You can go to her with anything and know that she has your back and like will support you and let you try things. The relationship with those RBTs that the kids have with them, and I feel like their role is just as, if not more important than my role, because until you have relationships, until you have those behaviors under control, they're not going to be able to access the curriculum and learn. They need to make sure that they feel safe in your classroom. And I think that's something that Oakbridge does really well, is like, it's a safe place for those kids. They can be themselves. They can be their true, authentic self without feeling like they're going to be judged or that they're going to get in trouble or they're going to get sent to the office. We take challenges head on, and we've done some pretty incredible things in a short amount of time. And the parents have been fantastic and always so supportive of like ideas that we've had, and to know that we're not only helping these kids in school, but we're helping their whole families, like noticing the difference that they've had at home is really, it's a good feeling to have.
Just getting to hear more of your heart. I see what you do, but hearing your heart behind it, I'm so impressed with everybody. And hearing your stories, I've been loving doing this series, because hearing everybody's stories and just getting to know their personal hearts more for the school and these students is just, I love Oakbridge more and more every time.
It's a pretty great place.
It is a pretty great place.
Mm-hmm.
So, not this year because you've had lots of time to do it, but when you're working and you have that downtime, which as a young mom of 2 little ones, what does your family do to sort of have fun together?
So we live at the park in the summer. We go to the splash pads. She's pretty active. She could live outside if we let her. Basically, our downtime revolves around our children. And when they're in bed, I fall asleep pretty quickly. I'm exhausted.
Well, Erin, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for everything you do at the school. And thank you for coming back.
Oh, I'm excited to meet those kids. It's bittersweet. Like, it's hard to leave Jamie. Not as hard as the first time, but it's still hard. But I'm excited to get back to Oakbridge and get back to the kids and all of the staff. I miss them quite a bit.
Well, hopefully we will see you soon.
I know, I'm excited to see you in real life.
Thank you. Me too. We'll see you soon.